Welcome back to Heavenly Praise the Show. Na pia wale wanatutune kwa saa hizi, karibuni sana kwenye show yetu ya Heavenly Praises ndani ya Mwangaza TV. Upande wa Facebook tunaingia live upande wa YouTube Mwangaza TV. Pia SMS line yetu ni 22914 and God will bless you. Our topic we have said is write it down and make it happen. That is our topic for today, and our theme is writing, the power of writing and visualizing your goals. So tunapata a word from the book of Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 2 to 3. Then the Lord answered me and said, write the vision and make it plain on tablets, that he may run who reads it. For the vision is yet for an appointed time, but at the end it will speak and it will not lie. That is our word, Habakkuk chapter 2 verse 2 to 3. NIV or New King James Version ndio tunatumia. And as we have said our topic earlier, that when you write down your vision and visualize on it, that way utakuwa na time ya ku make it happen, to bring it. When you bring it, you write it down, you'll be able to understand and also bring it to reality. So it means that when you write down your goals, from our word Habakkuk 2:2, is that it is give you a chance of planning, and after planning is one of the or an act of faith, or a spiritual act of faith, and it is you confirming to the Lord that from the word of Habakkuk 2:3, it says that we write down our vision. So when you write it down, already you're planning it, and you are ready to bring it to life. And also when you write it down, you'll be able to speak life to it. When you are beginning the show, I said that when you write down the vision, or when you write down your goals, tumesema mwaka ikianza kila mwaka ikianza, as long as you are alive and healthy, when you begin a year, you always put down your goals. Like this year, I want this and this to happen. I want to achieve this and this. So many people, they have those dreams in their hearts, and they have the vision, the ideas, wameiweka kwa mind zao, but they don't come beyond their minds. If you don't write it down, it will not come beyond your mind. Utakuwa tunuho nayo kwa akili, but when you put them down, you are able to follow up on them, you are able to plan on it, you are able to speak life to it. But when you just say it in your heart and you just say it you put it in your mind, utafika mahali katikati ya mwaka umesahau. You even forgot what you wanted, what the goal was, the first goal, the second one, what you have achieved. So for those who wrote down their goals for this year, imagine you're just remaining with two months, 1 week and a few days for us to end this 2025. And as you wrote those goals when you are beginning the year, if you are a sharp person, if you are somebody who likes planning, who likes to direct clarity on what you're putting down on, or what you want to achieve, ni wale watu wanarudingi, hey, mwaka imefika mahali fulani. Kama saizi tuko October is almost to end. Go back to those goals. Just mark down those you have achieved, and those remaining ones, what will you do about them? What are you doing about them? What are you planning to do about them for you to achieve before this year ends? So write down and make it happen. That's our topic for today. And before we begin this topic, or as we go to our points, we have the steps on how we plan, or we write down our goals, and also so that we can be able to visualize on them. And our first point is writing brings clarity, as we have said earlier. Clarity for the directions we want to follow. So our first point is writing brings clarity, or when you write down those goals, it brings clarity. It gives you the direction on which to follow, on how to start planning on them. Proverbs 29:18 says, where there is no vision, the people perish. And that's true. When you don't have a vision, you are just there. Ujui hata unaenda mbele, unaenda side gani, when you don't know when you are not achieving something, when you want to achieve something, or when you are wasting time, or when you are not wasting time. So when the Bible says in Proverbs 29:18, that's where there is no vision, the people perish. And we have said the first point is Writing brings clarity. Tumesema ukishaandika goals zako chini, ukiandika hizo vitu unataka kuachieve, it gives you now the direction on how to start, or how to start planning, on where to start planning, on what you're supposed to do, how long will it take for you to achieve certain goals, or what does it want for you to achieve certain goals. That's our point. The first point, writing brings clarity. And our next point is writing shows faith. As we have said earlier, just writing down is not just putting words on paper, as you said, is you declaring and bringing life to your dream. Because the goals you have are the beautiful dream that you have in your heart or your mind, that you want to achieve certain things at a certain level of life, or whatever you want to get this year or next year. So writing shows faith. When you write your dream, you are saying, I believe this will happen. It's a declaration to show trust in God that you are able to achieve certain things. And through that faith of writing them down, you show that faith to God. You show the trust that you have in God. So when you write down, you show an act of faith. And Hebrews 11:1 says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Hebrews 11:1. That's a powerful word. It says, now faith is the substance of things hoped for. Ni vitu zenye hata huna na ujui hata vile zitakuja ama vile utazipata, but you hope. The faith is the substance of things hoped for the evidence of things not seen. Vitu hata ujui vile zitakuja, but uko na hiyo imani. You have that faith that it will happen. How you visualize you put it in your mind. When you write it down, unajua wakati fulani kama huu, you will say, next year, a month like this one of October, I want to have this and this. Is something that you're already visualizing, but you don't know how it will come. You don't have any evidence of how it will happen. So the word says, faith is the substance of things hoped for. And that is it's come from the point that writing shows faith. You said first that writing brings clarity. That's our first point. And also, writing shows faith. And that comes from the book of Hebrews 11:1. It's the same as when faith is something that you already said that you hope for. It's something that you don't have any evidence about. It has not happened, that you know it will happen the same way you are thinking. So imagine you as a person or a student that is who are doing exams right now. Since before you sit for your final exam, you've been praying that, hey, I will pass these exams, I will go to university, I'll graduate, but if you're not doing anything about it, if there's no action, you're not noting down what you're doing, the steps on how you will be able to achieve that grade that you want, that graduation that you want it to happen. That is faith, having faith that you will graduate. But there is a part of planning or putting down a process on how you will come about to reach up to where you will be graduating. That is now writing. Writing shows faith. So you write something with faith that shows faith in that you have faith in God. And faith is when you hope for something that you have no evidence about, but you trust in God. Faith is just a lot of trust in God, putting trust in God and believing that He's able to make you achieve that. And our third point is visualization inspires action. The moment you just inspire, when you see your written goals every day, ukiamuka tu and I can motivate and have something to do. So it just forces you to take an action of where or how you want to, or you just picture the way you just wake up and you remember ulisha andika your goals chini. The moment you just start visualizing about it, it forces you to take an action of how you will achieve that goal. Kama bado huja achieve, unakuwa na hiyo, you'll be prompted that how you will be wanting to know, how will I achieve this? This one has not yet happened. What will I do about it? So Philippians 4:13 says, I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. That is Philippians 4:13. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me. You can do all things through Christ who strengthens you. So ukiweka imani na bado uweke you believe you can do all things. But there's nothing hard when you trust in God, because all these things, us being alive, is that just doing what we do, being where we are, is through Christ. So we believed that mahali uko saizi ni kwa imani, ulieka imani ukajua nitafanya kazi mahali fulani, na ndio umepata hiyo kazi, and whatever you do in that work is through God. So we can do all this through Christ who strengthens us. And also, when you create a vision board, you picture with pictures of the dreams, your house, business, or a car you want. You wake up every day, you get motivated that you will achieve such things. Ukiwa na hizo vitu unafanya akili inakuwa brainstormed. You brainstorm your mind through such things. You picture, you visualize those things. So the third point is visualization inspires action. So, and our fourth point, review and speak over your goals. Kila asubuhi amuka, speak life to your goals. Declare to them with good words. Hata Bible inasema from Proverbs 18:21, the tongue has the power of life and death. Proverbs 18:21, the tongue has power of life and death. So the moment you wake up and just speak something to yourself, to those goals, to those ideas, to that vision, to that purpose, you will achieve, depending on what you speak about it. So you speak life, you speak greatness, you speak achievements, you speak positive words to those goals, to those dreams, to those visions that you have, to those ideas. Some things just begin as an idea, but you find it, mtu tu alianza na idea, unakuta huyu mtu amefuja hata amefungua biashara kubwa sana. It just began as an idea. So when you speak life, when you speak with that tongue, tumesema tongue has the power of life and death. When you speak something negative about it, definitely to not work, but speak something positive. So review and speak over your goals. That's our fourth point. And our last point is be patient. God's timing is perfect. Kuna vitu unaweza andika tu chini na delay, or the goals that you wrote this year, some you have already achieved, others you'll be waiting, it will take long, others will may go up to next year and they will be achieved next year. But you unaona usikue disheartened, usikue broken hearted that this vision, this goal, I wrote it this year, I have prayed about it, you fasted about it, but it's not happening. Sometimes God wants you to go through a process before you achieve that goal. There are goals that can be achieved easily. Kuna zile tu Mungu yani they just come about. When you pray, they just come out. Or when you get connected to other people with the grace. Unajua kuna grace, there are so many types of graces. So when you get people with grace, who connect with them, unakuwa na grace of association, then you find the goals you wrote zina come through, ama kitu ulikuwa nayo ina come through because of that connection. But others take time, the others delay, but it doesn't mean that God is silent. It's just that the season for that thing to happen has not yet arrived. So Ecclesiastes 3:1 says, to everything there is a season and time to every purpose under heaven. To everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under heaven. So example kubwa hapo tunapata wakati Joseph alikuwa he used to dream when he'll be a leader someday. It took so many years, he went through a lot of hardship for him before he came as governor of Egypt. So unakuta process, goals zingine ama achievements zingine zita take time, ama dreams zingine zita take time before they come to life, or they come to a function. So don't think that God has forsaken you at that point, because Ecclesiastes 3:1 says, to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under heaven. And that is our fifth point. So we have said that our first point is writing brings clarity. The second one, we said writing down your goals shows faith. And number 3, we said visualizing inspires action. So when you visualize on those goals, on that purpose, on that vision, it inspires action. Also number 4, we said reviewing and speaking over your goals. Speak something positive. Declare greatness on those points, on those ideas, on those visions, on that goals, and it will come to happen. And also the fifth one, as we have said, be patient. God timing is perfect. So usikue na haraka. Kuna vitu zingine usiforce issues, because when you want God to do your own will, in future it will affect, it will come with consequences. But when himself akiamua kukubariki, baraka zake zikukuja yeye kulingana na mapenzi yake, you will be happy, uta enjoy those blessings. But don't force God to do according to your will. Let the will of God be done. So we have a few steps that you can follow for you to put down or write down or to visualize on those goals. As we have said, write it down and make it happen. That is our topic. So first of all, you get a notebook and vision journal ama vision board. Uko na kitu kama hiyo tu, unaandika goals zako kila wakati. Uandika hapo kwa ukuta ya room yako, hata hapo sitting room, hata whatever a place that you know ukiingia hivi kwa nyumba you must see it. Itakuprompt tu. You remember, and I have a goal to achieve. I have an idea to bring it to life. So get a notebook or a vision journal or a vision board. So number 2, write 3 or 5 goals to achieve in the next season. Every season. Kuanga, ukisha achieve hizo zenye zimebaki, make sure you write them down again. And remind yourself, visualize and pray over them daily. That is the fourth process or the fourth step. We've seen that the steps that you can follow on how to write it down and make it happen in your life, your goals, on how to visualize on those goals. You get a notebook or a vision journal. That's our first step. The second one, you write down those steps, those things that you want to achieve, the goals, the ideas, the vision. And then number 3, you add a Bible verse beside each goal. It will just give you that fact, that declaration of faith, that act of faith. When you add a Bible verse pale, inakutia moyo kila wakati, unakumbuka na neno la Mungu linasema hivi, so you are able to achieve that goal. Then if you visualize and pray over them daily, kila wakati. Don't forget in your prayer to include your goals. Whatever you want to achieve, don't forget them. As much as you pray about any other thing, don't forget about your goals. Take one small action each day that brings you closer to your goals. And then review your goals weekly or monthly and thank God for the ones that you have already achieved. And also tell him to guide you on those that have not happened yet, those that you are waiting for him to come through. So those are the 5 or 6 steps that we can follow on how to achieve those goals, on how to visualize on our goals. So that is our topic for today. Write it down and make it happen. And our theme is the power of writing and visualizing on our goals. That has been our topic. Hope you have learned something. And also, kwa wale wametune in upande wa Facebook, YouTube, God bless you. Keep on sharing. Share the message as we almost wind up the year. Make sure you remind somebody to go back to their goals. See if they have achieved others. If those, usikuwa mtu wa kusema tu kwa roho na kuweka kwa akili, hivyo tunasahau. Along the way you'll get distracted. Utasikia umechoka tu. Ukiona kitu ija happen hata moja, utasikia tu umechoka, you forget about them. Or you just decide you forget. Just decide it's not a must, it's not important. Kuwa mtu wa kujournal down your goals. That way you'll keep track on what you have achieved and where you are going. It will give you you'll be focused. It gives you a focused mind that ninaelekea hapa, hii sijaachieve. I know next year, before next year happens or after next year imefika, you will know where to start. So make sure you write down your goals, visualize on them, and